How's it going, guys? This is Jacob with H.I.T with another video, and today is going to be a physique check. Um, it's been almost 3 months since we started the channel. This channel is dedicated to high intensity training, um, based off the book High Intensity Training the Mike Mentzer Way. And so for those of you guys that are new, just to give you a little recap of what we've done so far. The first, let's see, about, I'm going to say 9 or 10 weeks, we ate in a calorie deficit with a couple of weeks in there in between where I just went off the rails, for 4 or 5 days at a time and got back to it, eating in a deficit while training the high intensity way. And then the goal was for the 15th of May, which was 2 days ago, for that to be the cutoff point for the calorie deficit and then go into a calorie surplus. Well, the surplus came a little bit quicker than that, unintentionally. I just completely went off the rails about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I guess, and never got back on them. So I've been kind of eating not the best. If you want to talk about eating in a calorie deficit, it's been more of definitely a surplus, because I've been eating everything I can get my hands on, which wasn't really the plan. But however, so 2 days ago was supposed to mark the official end of the deficit and going into the calorie surplus, which we just, like I said, we just went into the surplus quicker. It just wasn't official, so we'll call 15th the official one, so I can set a specific date to it, May the 15th. But reality is it's been about 2 weeks prior to that. But still been training. The last training we had was, let's see, it's the 17th. Let's see here. I was supposed to train again yesterday, which was the 16th, which was a Thursday. I didn't end up training yesterday morning. I got home from the boat on Wednesday. For those of you that are new, I work on the river, so I'm gone for a month at a time. I got home on Wednesday, so that would have had me training. After that Wednesday I got home, I would have went and trained really early in the morning on Thursday at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and I decided just to sleep that day. So, and then Thursday going into Friday, which was today, I had some things going on yesterday that had me out pretty late, and so I decided not to go again this morning, but I'm going to go tomorrow morning, which will be here in just a few hours, actually, because I'm shooting this late at night on Friday, so it'll be real early in the morning on Saturday. And the more I thought about it too, I almost got bent out of shape about not going on Thursday and then not going today as well. But Mike actually recommends in the book to take some additional rest days here and there to help the body recover. So I haven't done that since we started 3 months ago, so might be a good time to do that now. So instead of the regular 4 days off, we took 6 days off. And then after this next coming up workout we're going to do tomorrow morning, I'll rest 4 days and then go to another workout. So, and for those of you guys that have been following along, you already knew everything that I just laid out. So if you go back to my 7-week transformation video, you'll notice that when we started the 7 weeks, there was a significant improvement in uh, loss of body fat and enhancement of muscular definition. In this video, which will be roughly 4 to 5 weeks after the 7-week mark, you'll notice that I've put on some body fat, and I don't know if you could say that I've built any muscle that you could see, but put on a little body fat, so expect to see that. And also, we've talked about short-term goals and long-term goals a few times in a couple of videos. The short-term goal for when we started the channel was to, what I just said, was lose body fat and enhance muscular definition. And we did that, and we seen what was possible. We know what we can do now, which was a big part of it. And that's a big takeaway for these first 3 months. Just really finding out what I can do as far as finding out for myself what happens eating in a deficit and doing the training. So key takeaway, figured out that it's simple but not easy to lose body fat. So the simplicity of it is you just take whatever you weigh yourself for 5 days, weigh yourself every day for 5 days. At the end of the 5 days, if you haven't gained any weight, then you take whatever you've eaten in those 5 days. You know, if you've just eat whatever you're hungry for day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and day 5, and track your calories and be specific with your calories whenever you're adding them up per day. So then, let's say you ate 2,500 calories for day 1, 2,500 for day 2, 2,500 for day 3, 2,500 for day 4, and 2,500 for day 5. Then, if at the end of day 5, if you haven't gained any weight from day 1 to 5, then you just add all those numbers up and you divide them by 5, and that'll give you your daily maintenance level of calories. So what that means is that's how many calories you need for your body to maintain its current weight. And if you want to lose weight, you just deduct calories off of that. So you can just go ahead and take 500 off to start off with. So if your daily maintenance level is 2,500, then you can take 500 off of that, and you'll lose weight along with cardio as well. And then you can go from just doing a 500 to 1,000 down to like 1,500 calories a day. But I believe Mike doesn't recommend going any lower than 1,500 calories a day, which at times we were. Probably not the best thing to do, but so that's the simplicity of it. Once you figure out your daily maintenance level of calories, then you can just deduct calories off of that, and you will lose weight over time. And also, we were not only eating in a calorie deficit, but we were either cycling 6 to 10 miles just about every day, or jogging 1 to 3 miles on days that we weren't cycling. And then of course days where we weight trained, we weren't doing any form of aerobic activity. So with the cycling 6 to 10 miles a day almost every day, or jogging 1 to 3 miles almost every day, you know, except for days that we weight trained. And there was a few days where I didn't do either cycling or jogging. But with combining that with the eating in a calorie deficit, it's simple to lose weight. Simple and easy are two different things, I found out. As I've said before, I used to drink pretty heavily, and I used to chew dip tobacco quite a bit, and I quit both of those. Long time before I started this channel. But really, quitting those two things were way easier than trying to cut back on food and not eating everything I can get my hands on. And I don't know what that is, what you call it, but it's just odd to me. But it's just a mental thing, you know. Something I need to work on, discipline. So we figured that out. So that was a short-term goal, and we completed the short-term goal. The thing that I failed on the short-term goal was actually carrying it through until May 15th, because that's the date that I set to stop the calorie deficit and go into the calorie surplus. So I failed on that. But I do know what I'm capable of now as far as losing weight and what's possible, and that's very evident whenever you look at the 7-week transformation video. That was probably, I would say, that 7-week transformation video is probably the highlight of the channel so far as meeting the short-term goal. Really, I probably could have ended the deficit right there and went straight into the surplus, because the fact is, with the deficit, you can, according to Mike, when you're eating in the calorie deficit, you can, with the proper high intensity training diet and the high intensity training, you can maintain muscle mass and possibly gain some muscle mass. But I've also heard him say in videos that it's kind of like confusing the muscle whenever you're eating in a calorie deficit and you're trying to build muscle. It's better to eat in a surplus and build muscle. That's the whole point of eating in a surplus, is to build muscle. Of course, you're going to gain some body fat with it. And then when you go into the deficit, that's whenever you cut away the body fat slowly to reveal the muscle that you've built over time. And so that was another thing for the deficit, was as in a cutting aspect. He says 1 to 2 pounds a week is normal, but you don't want to really do any more than that. Of course, whenever you cut, you're going to lose some muscle, but you want to try to minimize that as much as possible. So if you just in that 1 to 2 pound per week range, then you should be in good shape. So we talked about short-term goal, long-term goal. I think we're going to kind of update that. At first, it was to build muscle after the eating in the deficit, and once we go into the surplus, to build muscle, that would be the long-term goal. But I think we're going to turn that into another short-term goal. So we'll have the 2 short-term goals. So we'll have the eating in the calorie deficit and enhancing muscle definition and losing body fat. So that was goal 1, short-term goal 1. We reached that. We probably peaked at week 7. This is around week 11 or week 12. Should have probably stopped at the end. But if I knew I was going to fall off the rails with the eating, I would have stopped while I was ahead and just went into the surplus. But I didn't. So we'll just break that up into 2. So we short-term goal 1 completed. We move on to short-term goal 2. Which is eating in a surplus, and doing the high intensity training. So then the long term will be, instead of from here, it's the 17th of May to an indefinite period to complete short-term goal number 2. I don't know if that's going to be 3 months or 4 months building muscle, or 6 months and then going to another cut, or what that's going to be. I'm not going to put a date on it yet. We'll just kind of feel it out as we go, because we're learning a whole lot through this process. Not really sure what I'm capable of or how my body reacts to certain things. So we're doing a lot of learning. So we'll just take it as we go. But So that's the short term. So from the 15th of May for an indefinite amount of time, we'll eat in a surplus, do the high intensity training, and build muscle, and then we'll go into a cut at the end of that again to reveal the muscle. And if everything goes the way it should, then I should have gained more muscle in the bulk, and then when I go into the cut again, it'll be revealed, and then so we'll be able to go from like week 7 of the first short-term goal, which was eating in a calorie deficit, into whatever week I peak at on this coming up cut after this bulk, and we can kind of compare it, and you'll be able to see whether I've gained muscle as this program states that I should or not. A lot of that depends on me too, so that'll be the short term. And then the long term, we'll go from when we started the channel to the end of the next calorie deficit. So what that'll do is that'll have 3 short-term goals, and then with an overarching long-term goal. So we had the eating in a calorie deficit to start off with. We've got the eating in a calorie surplus, and then we'll go into another calorie deficit. And then once we get to the end of that, we'll be able to compare the 2 cuts, and we'll be able to see if I've gained muscle or not, and how drastic the gaining of muscle has been. Now, as far as the diet goes for the surplus, the way that I want to go into it is there's so with the deficit, whether you're in the deficit or the surplus, the correct thing to do according to the book would be to eat a well-balanced diet. So what he means by a well-balanced diet would have been 60% of your diet goes towards carbs, 25% of your diet goes towards protein, 15% goes to fats. So when I was in the deficit, I didn't really adhere to that, and I still lost weight, but it probably wasn't the best, or the optimal way to do it, let's say. Just throwing that out there. So, and a big part of it is the fact that when I'm on the boat, my cook, he's nice enough to cook me baked chicken so that I can have that to eat, and then he'll order me like blackberries and bagels and a few items that I'll ask him to order, and so that I can eat that rather than eat what he cooks, because I can better track the calories with the stuff that I usually eat at home. If he cooks like spaghetti or something like that, I got to break up all the individual parts of the meal to find out what the calories are right there at the table when I'm eating, when I could just ask him to buy certain things through the order, and then I can kind of do the math in my head. And I had something on my phone, on my docs in my phone, where I wrote down breakfast, lunch, and then or breakfast and supper and snacks and supplements and stuff like that, and I had it down to around 1,330 calories, somewhere in there. And also with the chicken and the blackberries and the bagels and things that he was ordering, it's they're all low in calories too, and boiled eggs and things like that. So I could pretty well eat in the morning. I would eat like a bagel and a boiled egg and have a protein shake, and then throughout the day for a snack I would have like a yogurt and a banana, and then at supper time I would have chicken, blackberries, banana, yogurt, honey, boiled egg, peppers, stuff like that. Um, so I could pretty well go as hard as I wanted to at supper, as long as I didn't, stray away from the what I had planned out as far as eating. But so after this video, which we'll get to the physique check here in just a few minutes, but after this video, I've got one more I'm gonna upload. It's gonna be separate. It's gonna be a Jocko fuel merch reveal, I guess you could call it, and also Iron Master, and I'll go a little bit more in depth about that in the second video. And then the video after that one that I'm gonna do is gonna be where I sit down with a calorie counting book, and I'll show you guys how I'm going to approach the calorie surplus, and with the 60% carbs, 25% protein, and 15% fats diet that Mike Menser recommends for a well-balanced diet. Now, doing it at home is going to be a lot easier than doing it on the boat. So whenever I figure everything up, I'm going to buy what I need to stay within those parameters for carbs, protein, and fats at the house. When I'm on the boat, it's going to be a little different, because I'm not going to have access to the same things that I have at the house. When I'm on the boat, I can't just drive to Kroger or drive to Walmart and get what I need. We have to order it, and then I don't cook it myself. The cook cooks it, so I got to think about his time, and I'm just going to approach it a different way on the boat. I'll find some way to make it work, but for the house, we'll try to stay within that 60% carbs, 25% protein, and 15% fats. So I think that'll be about enough yakking now. I'll go ahead and do this physique check, and like I said, there's going to be some more body fat, but this is where we're at May 17th, and about 11 weeks in, close to I get them mixed up because I can't remember exactly when we started. It was like a week after not this trip I just had, but maybe the trip before that. I think I started the channel like a week after, but we're around that 3-month mark. But I'm gonna quit yakking. We'll go ahead and go into the physique check. guys, I think that'll do it for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.